Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches and she jagged back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened on her long ears with the sharp little teeth. Toto and Nana never became friends. Now grandfather hit Nana on the back in order to stop it. Nana jumped back in with a jerk and Toto was dragged along with her. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evenings was the large bowl of warm water given him by grandmother on his bath. He would cunningly test the temperature with his hand, then gradually step into the bath, first one foot, then the other, as he had seen me doing, until he was into the water up his neck. Once comfortable, then he would take the soap in his hands or feet and rub himself all over. When the water became cold, he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself. If anyone laughed at him during this performance, Toto's feeling would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. One day Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive. Now, in the winter season, Toto enjoyed having a warm bath and he would pretended to be selfish, and before starting his bath he would check the temperature of the water. He would copy the writer and stepped into the tub 1 foot at a time. Finally, he would sit in the water with his face out of it. Then he would rub himself with soap. When the water became cold, he would run out of it and to stove in the kitchen in order to dry himself. Toto get annoyed if he was laughed upon. He would get hurt and then refuse to take bath. The writer recollects an incident when Toto had almost boiled himself. A large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil and tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Finding the water just warm enough for a bath, he got in with his head stick out of the open kettle. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. He continued hopping up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and hauled him half boiled out of the kettle. In the large kettle, water was boiling on the stove. Toto climbed up on the stove and removed the lid from it. So he felt that water was warm enough for him to take a bath. He entered the kettle with his head out of it. When the water started boiling, it became hot for Toto and he thought of coming out of the kettle, but as the temperature outside was cold for him, he stayed in it. So Toto kept on jumping in the kettle for a while, and it was when the writer's grandmother arrived and she took a half-boiled monkey out of the kettle. So these are the things which Toto was doing. If there is a part of a brain especially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. He was always tearing things to pieces whenever one of my aunts came near him. He made never very efforts to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. If there is a part of our brain that governs our ability to create mischief, then that part of Toto's brain was highly developed, as he had great capacity to do mischief. So he was always busy doing mischiefs. Whenever the writer's aunts passed him, he tried to tear their dresses. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. One of my aunts rushed forwards and received a glass of water in the face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. We found him in a branches of the jackfruit tree and the dish still in his arms. He remained there all afternoon eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain. And then, in order to spite grandmother who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. Now, what happened? The writer recollects another incident when Toto created a lot of mischief. At lunchtime, a dish of rice was placed on the dining table. When the family reached to eat, they found Toto eating it. The writer's grandmother screamed at Toto and in response, he threw a plate at her. When the aunts tried to catch Toto, he threw a glass of water in her face. When grandmother arrived, Toto led the place through the window with a dish of rice along with him. Now Toto remained out of entire afternoon. He sat on the branch of the jackfruit tree, determined to eat all the rice. As the grandmother has screamed on him, he wanted to annoy her further, and so after eating the rice, he threw the dish. It broke into several pieces. Obviously, Toto was not a sort of pet we could keep for long. Even grandfather realized that. We were not well to do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains, and wallpaper. So, grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back for him for only 3 rupees. Finally, grandfather realized that Toto was not suitable to kept at home. So, they could not afford the frequent losses that he gave him. So he tore, why? Because he tore clothes, curtains, wallpapers and broke dishes also. So the grandfather sold Toto back to the same Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. So children, this is all about the chapter. Read the chapter and do the question answers in your notebook. Thank you children.